All right, for much more on this, let's bring in the former Deputy Assistant Attorney General John Yoo. John, thanks for joining us this afternoon. This is how Democrats are reacting to this story. Congressman Jim Himes, he's the top Democrat on the Intelligence Committee. He says Director Gabbard is rehashing a decade-old false claims about Obama administration. Every legitimate investigation, including the bipartisan Senate Intelligence Committee investigation, found no evidence of politicization. Baseless accusations of treason are unfortunately par for the course for this director of national intelligence, but that doesn't make them any less damaging and unacceptable. You know, John, I remember covering this at the time, back in 2016 during the election, and the Obama administration was never saying that there were any votes changed. So what's going on with this?
I think Tulsi Gabbard is using exaggerated rhetoric, but it unfortunately is occluding what's really going on here, what we really ought to be worried about. So there have been several investigations of what happened back in the 2016 election, the amount of Russian interference, and why did the Obama administration and then the beginnings of the Trump administration get taken in by this hoax, this idea that Donald Trump was actually some kind of Russian agent. And we've had people like Jim Comey and now like John Brennan referred to the Justice Department for investigation. I think that the important thing is that the Trump administration go forward with the Justice Department criminal investigation to put all these matters to rest. And some of the information that Tulsi Gabbard has revealed is new, has not been made public before, and should be added to that investigation. Now, I wouldn't use words like she's using, like that the President Obama might have involved in treasonous activities. But one thing we got to find out is it's undeniable that the Intelligence Committee was taken in by all this. They were participants in this hoax. And the question is, was it actual malice? Was it really treasonous? Was it really an effort to conduct a coup against the elected president? Or was it massive incompetence? That might be the more reasonable explanation. One of Rumsfeld's famous rules was don't mistake for intelligence what can be explained by incompetence. Were our intelligence agencies simply incompetent? And then what's the responsibility of people like Jim Comey, who I think actually did try to entrap President Trump into committing some kind of perjury, who went after his first national security advisor? What kind of role and how should they be culpable criminally?
John, also on the Senate Judiciary Committee earlier this week, Emil Bove is the nominee for the 3rd District Circuit Court judge. Democrats walked out of the vote there, and this is what Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer had to say about this whole process.
The only thing that Trump cares about in a judge, we've seen this, we know it, our Republican colleagues who just march in lockstep to vote for these awful judges know it. The only thing Trump cares about is unyielding fealty to him, and he says it brazenly.
The Democrats also point to a letter of about 900 former justice officials who say that they have deep concern about Bove's nomination. Do you think that he deserves to be confirmed to that court?
Well, I used to be general counsel of the Senate Judiciary Committee long ago, and I can't believe that Democrats are accusing the majority of a lack of decorum, a lack of civility, when they got up after yelling at the Chairman Grassley, and walking out and refusing to vote. Look, there's a vote in the committee, Bove won. There's going to be a vote on the floor. Democrats have every opportunity in those debates to make their objections known. We've had sworn testimony now on whether Bove really did say that perhaps they're going to have to take a hard line with the courts, even maybe consider, and this is the Justice Department, defying a judicial order. He has said he hadn't said that. Other Justice Department officials say he didn't say it. That's up to the senators to decide. I think that's the only thing that would stop Mr. Bove from being confirmed is this one whistleblower incident about whether he did make these intemperate remarks or not. The senators can take that into account when they choose to vote. So far, I think he's going to get confirmed, and it looks like the Republican senators have enough votes.
All right. John Yoo, the former Deputy Assistant Attorney General, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon. Very much appreciate it.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.